And here we are again, another day, another bodge. So if we just have a look here, so you'll see, I'll just point this out. So you've got two oddball screws, there's one there and one there on the balance cock. Now just coming over here, look what's missing there. So I haven't quite got to it yet and can't quite see it from this angle, but if we look closer, yeah, so someone's totally taken out the hammer. So the hammer should be under there, and it's also missing the hammer, or the hammer spring there, which is, well, it's not actually the hammer spring, it's the lever spring is supposed to be there. That's missing. And you see this stuff here, that's epoxy. So what's happened is the screws have been backing off, and instead of fixing it properly, they've just put glue all over it. So what I might try and do, I'm just filming this on my phone just to make life easy for myself. So I'm just going to put the camera on. I'm just going to try and take that top plate off and just see what's going on under there. And we'll see if there's anything else missing as well. This is really disappointing. So just hang on one sec. This is not my best video work, but I didn't really want to set up the whole camera jig again to do this. There's just a bit too much light with the overhead light on. So we'll just take that off. Doing this one-handed, just one sec. So there we go. So some twit hasn't put removed the hammer. Now why you do that, obviously they've tried to disable it for some reason. And I guess the further we get into it, we'll figure out why that is. But I mean, seriously, what an idiot. And unfortunately, this is the sort of work that comes out of, being a watchmaker for 30 years type people. And this work is just baffling. Let's just see, I mean, is it a center wheel issue? We can probably determine that. Feels okay, so I won't know for sure really until I've got it apart. So, but I don't think it's a center wheel issue. Definitely the pusher's okay there, so that's not the issue. All right, I'll try and remove the balance cock now. So I'm just curious to know whether someone's stripped these screws out and has just put an oversized screw in, or whether that's just the only screws that they had. Looks like we might be in luck. So I think it's just the only screws they had. So beyond that, it looks okay. Well, anyway, I'll wrap this up. So this is a sort of work that you get from some watchmakers. And I mean, it is shit. That's the only word I've got to describe it. I mean, who would think this sort of thing is acceptable to put it back out to a customer again? I mean, half the watch is missing. The main functionality of the watch is inoperable, and someone's sort of just taken this stuff out and said, yep, totally cool, and then charged someone for this sort of work. I mean, what a dickhead. Seriously, what a dickhead. And like, I don't understand why the watch and clock associations don't sort of come down on people that do this sort of work. I mean, they just let it happen. And if you look at other professions, they have to do a certain amount of hours of professional development every year, and there's just no requirement from the watch industry. Anyway, I'll leave that there, and yeah, hopefully this will come good. If I find anything else remarkable in there, I'll put up another video. Thanks for watching. Apologies for the bad language. Obviously this one won't be monetized, but I think it really needed to be said. All right, see you back again soon. Okay, I'm going to do my best French accent in the theme of the SpongeBob time cards. Several minutes later. And you can see why I can't get the dial off here is because some idiot has glued it into the dial screws, and the dial screws have been replaced with something out of the junk box. This watch, like something like a quarter of the screws so far, have been replaced with just some junk screws. And you can see here what's actually happened is, well, as well as this, in addition to this, just to explain why this situation has come about, the dial spacer ring is actually missing. So someone's been in here and they've just taken a whole bunch of parts out of it for no particular reason. I don't really understand why. And they've replaced them with glue or some crappy screw or something like that. So you can see there, to get that off, I'm going to have to hack away at that. But I just don't understand why you do this sort of work. And this comes back to my previous comment of there being no professional development with the watchmaking associations. And I think it's the same here as it is in the US. There's just no development. And I mean, if you're a doctor or something, I don't know, I'm sure someone in the viewers there is a doctor. If you could just put in sort of how many hours of professional development you need to do every year to maintain your skills. But for some reason in this industry, it's just simply not required. And you can see here, because of the way they've done it, it's actually bent the dial. So you can see here the dial's all bowed up with where the feet are. And the problem with that is, and you'll see this here, is that it actually, because it's bent up like that, it touches the indicator ring, which has worn the paint off. And you can see here as well some of the other issues that have come from it. So because the dial is not sitting at the right height and it's a bit wonky now, you have the hour hand touching and contacting with what is otherwise would have been a beautiful dial. And I mean, there's a lot of dirt on this as well, and I suspect it's from the aftermarket pushers that we used. So we'll just have a look up there again. It's actually a better shot. So you can see all the dirt and oil that's all over it. And what's happened is when the watch was serviced last, it was over-oiled and the oil has migrated onto the dial. And in addition to that, we'll just put that aside for a sec, they've used some aftermarket pushers. And the problem with the aftermarket pushers, sorry, my desk isn't actually straight, so things tend to roll off it. But the problem with the aftermarket pushers is that the seals are actually the wrong size. So quite often you don't get a good waterproof seal on them. So normally what I have to do with these is put a deeper groove in them. And one day I will get this bench square, but it's not going to be today. So quite often what I need to do with these is actually put a deeper groove in them on the lathe and put the correct size seal in them, because they just they won't pass a pressure test like this. So they just make them to whatever seal they can buy on the Bangkok market on that day, and there's no attention to detail or quality. So that's really why we've ended up in this situation. So alright, so that's the second section of this video. So hopefully I won't have to do another one. I'm just about to pull the glass out of the case and just finish up with this. So hopefully everything else is there and I've got nothing else really to comment on with this one. Alright, thanks for watching and bearing with me with my foul language and dissatisfaction, but I just really want to show everyone how bad this can go if you sort of get the wrong person onto it. Alright, hopefully won't see you again in this video, but we'll see you in the next one.